The others report on what they had seen. Meanwhile, the Americans had a very good seats for the fireworks. British ships let loose with their cannons as night fell. Hour after hour, they lobbed rockets and shells at the fort, more than 1,500 booms. That's 1,500 explosions. As dawn neared, Key squinted through the gloom and smoke. He prepared himself to see his fears fulfilled. The British flag flying over Fort McHenry, but wait, what was that? What is it? It was a huge American flag still waved over Fort McHenry. The British attack had failed, and Baltimore was saved. And as soon as Key was released, he pulled an envelope from his pocket and began writing on the back, outpoured a poem about how the U.S. had withstood Great Britain's harness might. Key's poem became a big hit almost immediately within a week of the battle. It was printed up under the title of Defense of Fort McHenry, and newspapers up and down the U.S. included the heroic verses in their pages, but a music printer soon took the liberty of changing the title to the Star-Spangled Banner. The song remained popular, and it was not a national anthem until 1931, when Congress passed the bill making it so, and President Hoover made it our national anthem. Okay, now.
Hey, West Hartford. How's it going? We got another America 250 event coming your way right now. Being treated to some beautiful live music, some American classics. The Star-Spangled Banner, here it is. My name is Chris Prentice, and we're here live at the Town Hall, 50 South Main Street, honoring our flag. Once again, this is an America 250 event. We're learning everything to do with the flag itself. You're watching the Flags of America showcase, the evolution of the flags over the last 250 years. All the different iterations, all the history, all the knowledge that is to be passed down through the generations. Learning to make a five-pointed star, they're making pinwheels. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful event. If you want to come down, it's free of charge right here in the auditorium of the Town Hall. 50 South Main Street once again. We're here on the third floor right here in the auditorium. Make your way on down. We're live right now. We're just about to get started. If you guys are interested, come on down. Check it out. Be a part of the fun. Be a part of the knowledge. Be a part of the history.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you once again to Hayes Village Post 96, the American Legion right here in West Hartford, Connecticut. They've been serving our community since 1922. Fantastic. Fantastic work, but we're just getting started. We're just getting underway here. So I'm going to find a place to park myself up so I can be a part of the festivities. I believe we have a speaker approaching the podium right now. Let's see if we can get in on that.
This event is brought to you by West Hartford America 250 Task Force. This 2026, as everyone knows, is the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. It was on July 4th, 1776, with the signing of the Declaration of Independence that is widely known as the birth of the United States. So we're here to celebrate that. There are celebrations going on all across the country. Here in West Hartford, no exception. And as you come into the space here, you will find a schedule of all the events that are going to be happening in town. So please look for that. My name is Tom Donahue. I'll be your host for today. Around the room, The focus of today's event is going to be the 27 official U.S. flags, starting with the earliest flag in the corner here from July 4th, 1776, all the way out to the latest flag, which is on the stage, brought in by the color. These flags are the official flags because they were recognized by Congress, and as you go through it, you see that each one changes slightly from the others by the addition of stars that represent all of the states of America. These flags were actually on loan from the Knights of Columbus, and we'd like to give heartfelt thanks to the Knights of Columbus for letting us borrow these flags for today's event. Also on display around the room are some posters from the American Legion Post 96, Hayesville Lodge of West Hartford. We'd also like to extend a big thank you to Post 96 for all of the help they gave us in setting up this event and all the contributions they made to this event. Thank you very much. So for today, we invite any children who are attending to visit our crafts tables. There's a craft where they can make a beaded bracelet in red, white, and blue colors. There's also a craft where you can make an American flag. So please look for those things. And around the room, you'll also find in the back, there's a table where we have some giveaways for you, if you'd like to stop by that table. And also, please, as you enter, put your name down for our swag drawing. We have approximately 6 swag bags that are available. No, 8, I'm being corrected, it's 8 swag bags, and those were donated very generously by Elaine Cochler, citizen of West Hartford, president of District 1 of the American Legion Auxiliary Department of Connecticut. So thank you, Elaine, appreciate that. Drawings will be held at 2, 3, and 4. So to start us off, I'd like to introduce Mo Fredette, who will talk about the presentation of the colors.
Spend a minute talking about color guards and how they originated. The origins of the color guard go back perhaps many, many years in military history, when the symbol of the unit that might be fighting would carry colors into battle. Over time that has changed, and today a color guard is a symbol of the American military as well as other organizations. It's formed and marched in one rank, and into that's another rank being across directly across. You've probably seen it on TV where there's maybe 5 or 6, even more flags, but the American flag will always be on the right-hand side. When you're looking at it, it appears to be on the left-hand side. In your maneuvers, if they have to turn completely around, there's a special maneuver that they do. Process, again, with the American flag always being on the right-hand side whenever it's inserted. Color guards have people on the side from various organizations. The Knights of Columbus have their own color guard, carry sabers. The police department carries rifles in their color guard. The fire department actually carries fire hoses as part of the symbol of their color guard. But again, today our color guard, we have not included the military rifles today, but we'd like to have our color guard post colors. Commander post colors.
All right, folks. There we go. We are underway. We just were introduced to this event. Once again, this is the American Flag Showcase. And we can travel through time right now, looking at all of what I just learned are 27 different official iterations of our nation's flag. The most recent being from 1959. This is the one we all know. This is the current one. Yeah. After the admittance of Hawaii to the Union, August 21st, 1959, now with 50 stars and 13 stripes. What I do know about the flag is that each star represents a state. Each flag, or rather each stripe, represents one of the original 13 colonies. Here's the one just before the current flag, also from 1959, but only 49 stars on there. This is before Alaska, or this is before Hawaii, but just after Alaska was admitted. So as you can see, you can make your way through. There's 1912, 48 stars. 1908, only 46 stars. You can make your way around and be a part of this, learn some things. There are different events happening throughout the day, throughout the afternoon. This event has just begun. It's just after 1 p.m. now. We're going to go until about 4 p.m. with all kinds of events for you to learn and for you to gain new information, new insights as to how things progressed over the last 250 years of our nation's history. Here, let's just take a look at the entryway. I actually haven't gotten a chance to see. As I understand it, there are some giveaways they're doing. You can sign up to be a part of that. A lot of information here for you to learn, for you to glean new info, new knowledge about our nation. And as you can hear, we're being treated to live music. Let's see if we can get an earful of that. Hang on. Let's make our way over. On the piano and live vocals. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's take a quick listen here. Not to put you guys on the spot, but the folks at home want to hear it. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we hear. Being treated to some American classics here. Once again, this is a America 250 event here. 1776 through 2026, 250 years. As we go throughout the day, there'll be different events. Once again, we're at 50 South Main Street. You can bring the family out, bring the kids out, be treated to some beautiful music and a bit of education. Let's listen in.
Simply because you're near me, funny, but when you're near me, I'm in the mood for love. Heaven is in your eyes, bright as the stars we're under. Oh, is it any wonder I'm in the mood for love? Why stop and think of weather? This little dream might fade. We put our hearts together. Now we are one. I'm not afraid if there's a cloud above. If it should rain, we'll let it. But for tonight, forget it. I'm in the mood for love.
Thank you, gentlemen. That was awesome. That's fantastic. They'll be here all day, ladies and gentlemen. You can come on down. 50 South Main Street. You can be a part of this. You can be treated to some American classics. just like that. They're here all day. Live piano music, live singing. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful event. As you can see, families are starting to filter their way through. Here to see, here to learn, here to gain a little more knowledge. And as I said before, there are giveaways. There are door prizes. Winners will be announced at 2, 3, and 4 p.m. But you can come on in, a little something for yourself. You can gain some knowledge and leave with a little bit of swag. They got a few swag bags for you. They've got beaded bracelet stations. The kids are into arts and crafts. This is a perfect place to bring them on down. They can be a part of this as well. Gonna hang out with the scouts. How's it going, fellas? Ladies, how you doing? The American Legion is here. You can apply for membership right here at this table. Let's take a look at this flag here. Only 21 states, meaning only 21 stars. This was back in 1819. It looks so foreign, right, to see so few stars on the flag. It's a little over half of what we're used to seeing. This is back in 1819. Let's take a look at the placard here. This is when Illinois was admitted to the Union. December 3rd, 1818. 21 stars, 13 stripes. Wow. Yeah, you can make your way across the room, right? From this back corner here all the way around the room. Flags lining the room. Hello. How's it going?
How are you?
I'm good. My name's Chris Prentice. I'm here with WHCI. We're just live streaming the event, letting families know that they can come down and be a part of this. Is there anything in specific that families should look out for if they wanted to come down here? What's a good reason to join in on the fun?
Well, first of all, for little children, there's crafts to do, coloring books. They'll get their own flag. They get to sing along with the songs that are being played. I am Jennifer McLeod. I am the president of the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 96 here in West Hartford, and we are also a very proud sponsor. Today, children will be able to figure out how to handle a flag properly, make sure that it never hits the floor. They'll also get to interact with some of the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts that are here, which is always nice.
That's awesome.
They'll get to understand how to fold a flag and the meaning behind the Pledge of Allegiance, which is what I'm going to be talking about later on today.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really great because, you know, as growing up here in America, we say the Pledge of Allegiance pretty much every day in school. And I remember when I was in kindergarten not really knowing the meaning behind anything that I was saying or what the words even meant. It's going to be wonderful to learn exactly what that's about, where it came from, the origins. That's a beautiful thing. And so families can come out to gain a little bit of knowledge.
Yes.
They can come out to do some arts and crafts. They can come out to enjoy some American classics in the music department over there.
Exactly.
It's just a fun time for everybody.
It is very much
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
I
my
love
family
that.
can be traced back to the Revolutionary War.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it makes me a very proud member
Yeah.
of the American Legion family, and we can't wait to see the kids come down and have fun.
That's fantastic. What a beautiful day. Thank you so much.
Thank you
We
so
really
much.
appreciate everything you're doing here. That's awesome. You hear that, folks? You hear that? There's going to be events and gear for everybody. You can win prizes. You can make bracelets. You can learn from the scouts. You can learn the purpose of the Pledge of Allegiance. It's not just a series of words that you say at the start of the school day. We're going to learn the history of it. We're going to learn the origins of it. We're going to learn why those specific words were chosen. And this is a beautiful thing. This is important knowledge to pass along, especially on such a historic year. 250 years of the United States being an official nation. Just taking a look at all the different info. Once again, Hayes Village, Post 96, American Legion. You see them around often. You see them around often here in Weha. Heroes abroad and heroes at home. And they're here today, giving out a bit of knowledge. I'm not sure, is this General Washington? They're engaged in something. We're going to have to check them out in a second to figure out what's going on with that. There are folks in costume. I think I saw Betsy Ross earlier. We'll learn a bit about what's going on. Let's see. Hello.
Don't get me stuck.
Oh no. That's okay. We'll make our way around the room and see what's going on. And here are the families. The families are turning up. They're showing up. Here they are pouring through the door. They'll learn the proper way to fold a flag, how to never let it touch the ground. We just learned a moment ago, the color guard marched the flag in, marched the colors into the room as we honored the flag. The American flag always stays on the right, I learned. And there are specific maneuvers and positioning techniques that our color guard takes in order to make sure that that's the case when you're looking on. It looks like it's on the left, but from the perspective of the carriers, from the flag bearers, it is on the right-hand side, and they take specific actions to make sure it stays that way. We'll learn more and more about that as we go. But as you can see, it's a pretty free-form event. You can come in, you can sit down, you can have a little snack, gain a little knowledge. You can take it easy. Take it easy as you learn something here. Korean War, 1950. From the war on the home front, there's a lot to be learned. This is a beautiful event. I love this. Weha's always putting on the most interesting events. There's families pouring through the door right now, grabbing info on their way in through the door, just to show you where exactly we are. We're here on the 3rd floor of 50 South Main Street. Hello, how's it going?
Oh my God, he was hysterical.
We've been in here before. We've been here numerous times. We're back again. The American Flag Showcase. We've got family-friendly events for all ages, flag demonstrations, hands-on craft projects, patriotic giveaways and items and information, community sing-alongs, door prizes, a collection of flags that are to be retired, and a special thank you once again to American Legion, Hayes Village Post 96, and also to the Knights of Columbus, Assembly 3000. A lot of hands go into make an event like this happen. Super thrilled, super thrilled to be a part of this.
That's true.
1886, or rather 1867. I'm getting my numbers jumbled up. 37 stars, 13 stripes. This was the flag as of March 1st, 1867, when Nebraska joined the Union. Fantastic. So stop on by, bring the family by. You can be a part of the fun. You can learn a little something here.
What they wouldn't do for nobody else. Gave me a thrill with all your faults. I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you.
singing along the Star Spangled Banner and everything else. He's going to sing with us. Oh, you are? Which one? It is sad.
Because there don't have any organists in them.
Yes, that's true. It used to be. You might reach out to, there's a organ society that might be able to help. Yes, the Greater Hartford organ group, they have tremendous musicians. I do a little, not at that level. But so, just looking up the Greater Hartford organ society, and they have a lot of things. Oh yeah, they're trying to keep the organ. There is, yes, there are
see how happy we would be.
We're not seeing.
As you enter, please make sure that you sign up for the drawing. There's going to be some giveaways at 2, 3, and 4 p.m. Right now, our next activity is going to be the flag floating demonstration. This is really going to be great, and then you're going to let it fly. So please let me introduce Heidi Ann Moody, Senior Vice Commander, Jeff Linden, Junior Vice Commander, Mike Luca, Chaplain, Brendan Boyle, and Bill Hamilton from the American Legion Force 96.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm up on stage just so you guys can see Mike and Brendan a little better. So, if you've ever been to a military funeral, can you guys hear me? I'm pretty loud. That's the Marine in me. Okay, so if you've ever been to a military funeral, you've noticed honor guards pay very meticulous attention to how they fold the flag. And it's the flag that then gets draped over the casket that they take off and present to the family. They make very crisp and precise folds 13 times to complete this ceremony. And each of those 13 folds holds a very special significance for our nation's greatest symbol. Flag etiquette dictates that every time an American flag is to be stored or presented during a ceremony, its handlers should fold it in half, twice lengthwise. Then, starting at the opposite end of the blue field, they make taut triangles to continue to fold the flag up until only the blue field is showing and it's shaped like a triangle. This is so the flag can be presented easily to a family member, and also so it can fit inside a triangular wooden case that often gets hung up on families' walls to honor their family member. The 13-fold procedure was common long before the more modern assigned meanings. The source and date of origin of these meanings is unknown. According to the National Flag Foundations, the 13 folds mean the first fold is a symbol of life. The second fold is our belief in eternal life. The third fold, which is the first triangle fold, is in honor and remembrance of veterans departing our ranks who gave a portion of their lives for the defense of our country to obtain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature. For as human citizens trusting in God, it is Him we turn to in times of peace as well as in times of war for His divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. For in the words of Stephen Decatur, our country in dealing with other countries may she always be right, but is still our country, right or wrong. The sixth fold is where our hearts lie. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The seventh fold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all of her enemies, whether they are found within or outside the boundaries of our republic. The eighth fold is a tribute to the one who entered into the valley of the shadow of death, that he or she might see the light of day, and to honor his or her mother, for whom it flies on Mother's Day. The ninth fold is a tribute to womanhood, for it has been through their faith, their love, loyalty, and devotion that molded the character of the men and women who have made this country great. The 10th fold is a tribute to the Father, for he too has given away his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were first born. The 11th fold in the eyes of a Hebrew citizen represents the lower portion of the seal of the King of David and King Solomon, and glorifies in their eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold in the eyes of a Christian citizen represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in their eyes God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The 13th fold reminds us of our nation's motto, "In God we trust." After the flag is completely folded and tucked in, it takes on the appearance of a cocked hat, which Mike is going to show you in a second. You want to make sure when we're done folding it that only the blue and the stars show. And you guys are going to get to practice this. We have some flags if everyone wants to give it a try. So now you can see Mike's going to turn to you and show you how it looks like a cocked hat. And that's to remind us of the soldiers who served under General George Washington. If you remember, he wore a hat like that was shaped like that. And also the sailors and the Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones. Those who were followed by their comrades and shipmates into the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights and the privileges and freedoms that we enjoy today. And I want to point out that Betsy Ross is down here, if you didn't notice her, turning my slides. So thank you, Mike and Brendan and Betsy Ross. Flags on the back table, and I know there's activities going around around the area, but I also want to ask our scouts, our Scouting America scouts that are back there, previously known as Boy Scouts, and we have an Eagle Scout sitting at that table. If you want to raise your hand for us. So she's our first Eagle Scout in West Hartford, but she's actually from Farmington. But they can help with the flag folding, so if anyone wants to try folding these little flags on the back, you can fold them and then return them afterwards because we want to use them for the next group. But if you're involved with any elementary school group and you want the American Legion to come out to your school and fold flags with the elementary school group, we do that with the Cub Scouts and then we let you keep the flags. But today we ask you guys to return the flags so that the next group can do it when we do it later today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Heidi. As Heidi said, right now we're going to spend the next 20 minutes or so learning how to fold flags at the back table right over here. And by the way, included in our swag pack giveaway is going to be a nice flag that you can take home to try this folding method there. See you in 20 minutes.
Look at that, folks. We just learned all the reasons that a flag is folded the way it is. We've all seen that before. We've seen those handed out to families, those bereaved soldiers who've fallen in battle in service of our nation. They've given us the reasons that the flags are folded in that way, and we're practicing right here at the back of the room. Let's see if we can head over there and take a quick look and get eyes on that. Hang on, let me get myself situated here. Make my way over to the back of the room here. See if we can't get eyes on this. There we go. Take a look at that. She's teaching the young ones exactly how it's done. We've got little miniature flags to practice on as well. Got our scouts here, also showing us how it's done. So if you want to come out and give it a shot, today's your day. We're here at 50 South Main Street. It's 1:45. This event goes until 4 p.m. with all kinds of different activities just like this that folks will be able to learn, participate, give their shot at folding the flag, the 13 folds each representing a different aspect of American culture, the American people, American life, what we hold dear, what we believe, what we honor, what we stand for, all represented in those folds. Who knew, right? Well, you can know. You can come on down and you can learn it here.
And that he was fortunate to the fact that he was supposed to be something happened that tank and they stayed ashore. He was safe. That's the rest of the
Would you like to hold the book with me? Yeah, I'm gonna go. Here, sit over here. It's just going on. Okay. Good thing. Yeah, just wanted to say it's honors. You guys.
I'm always afraid of what's going to come next on social media. So having you in the fun, Sean's welcoming me back, which is good because I got a Rick Bush I got to do some damage repair on. Yeah, well, I stepped in. I didn't really know all what happened, other than you guys all ran against them. But and inspired so we just
Yes, how you doing?
Good job. See, it looks just like a triangle. Now we tuck this in here, like this. Can you do that for me? Can you push it in there? Just stuff it in there like that.
Like a pocket.
Yeah, like a pocket, exactly. And then what you want at the end is you don't want any of the red showing. This is a little bit hard because it's a new flag, so it's very good. You almost got it. You can just stuff that one in so you don't see it. And then you've got that hat, right? So that's the hat that George Washington wore. Like that. Does that look familiar? Good job.
Good job.
Now?
Would you like to?
Good.
We tried.
This is very.
I think that was challenging.
That's public. It's publicly, it's a public. It's a public.
Yeah, and that number.
Brenda. Row of people there. Is that how you say that? Brenda. Come on up, Brenda. And special thanks to Betsy Ross for giving the prizes away.
Thank you, Betsy. You're welcome.
Okay, prize number 2, Lola Helmrich. Lola.
Once, going twice, you got a present.
Let's try it again.
Holly. Who's that Holly? Holly, where are you?
I just pulled my wife's name. She left, so she doesn't know.
She couldn't stay.
Okay. Zastri Jean. XtasdYZHON. Zastri Jean. Nope. Okay, here's another one. Jeff Linden.
Jeff! We know he's here.
Okay, there'll be another drawing at 3 o'clock. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, please warm up your vocal cords because we are about to do our singing. I'd like to please help me in welcoming 2 members of the Connecticut Old Guard right here in West Hartford. On vocals, we have Dave Mangs, and on piano, we have Michael Service.
Thank you, Tom. Welcome one and all to our Flags of America showcase as we celebrate America's 250 years. My name is Dave Mangs and our pianist Michael Service. We are proud to be here representing the Old Guard of Connecticut. In a few minutes, we'll sing together some classic American patriotic songs. So let it out. I don't care if you're tone deaf, just sing with your heart in it. Just as we're all united in saying the Pledge of Allegiance, the singing of our time-tested patriotic songs celebrating our country's freedom, democracy, and bravery remind us that we're all united under one flag of the United States of America. And first, let us thank Elaine Kotler, Renee McHugh, Tom Donahue, and all the volunteers who've worked so hard over so many months to make this wonderful event possible. And a special thanks to our sponsors. Let's give them a hand of applause, please. Thank you. Now, it's important in an event like this to read a little bit about the backstory behind the Star-Spangled Banner. Francis Scott Key was an American lawyer and an amateur poet. He and many other Americans were not all that happy when the U.S. declared war on Great Britain starting in the War of 1812. The British war machine greatly outgunned the young U.S. Army and Navy. The war was also bad for American business, and Great Britain had been the biggest trading partner of U.S. merchants. U.S. forces struggled to match the British on land, sea, and the Great Lakes. And then in August 1814, British forces raided Washington, D.C. They torched the White House, the buildings that housed Congress, and other government buildings. The destruction of the U.S. Capitol was a huge blow to American morale, but it also fired up a lot of Americans, including Francis Scott Key, to get behind the war effort. It was against this backdrop that the Star-Spangled Banner got its words. On September 13, 1814, Key and U.S. officials rowed over to a British warship at the mouth of the Patapsco River outside of Baltimore, Maryland. And their mission was to seek the release of some American prisoners. The meeting with the British officers went well, and they even dined together. But when it came to Key and his compatriots to paddle home, their hosts said, "Hold your rowboats." The Americans had seen too much. British ships were moving into position to blast the daylights out of Fort McHenry, about 8 miles away. Once they captured the fort, the British planned to raid Baltimore like they had at Washington, and the British could not let Key and the others report on what they had seen. Meanwhile, the Americans had very good seats for the fireworks. British ships let loose with their cannon as night fell. Hour after hour, they lobbed rockets and shells at the fort. More than 1,500 kabooms, that's 15,000 explosions, hit Fort McHenry. And as dawn neared, Key squinted through the gloom and smoke. He prepared himself to see his fears fulfilled. The British flag flying over Fort McHenry. But wait, what was it? It was sure a huge American flag still waved there. And the British attack had failed, and Baltimore was saved. As soon as Key was released, he pulled an envelope from his pocket and began writing on the back. Out poured a poem about how the U.S. had withstood Great Britain's armed might. Key's poem became a big hit almost immediately, and within a week of the battle, it was printed up under the title of Defense of Fort McHenry. Newspapers up and down the U.S. included the heroic verses in their pages, but a music printer soon took the liberty of changing the title to the Star-Spangled Banner. That, of course, was the name that stuck. And the song remained popular throughout the 1800s and was played at military ceremonies. But it was not until it didn't become a national anthem until 1931, when Congress passed a bill making it law, and President Hoover signed it. And Americans have been standing up and singing ever since. Now, because this is our national anthem, all those that are talking, I'd please like you to refrain while we sing the national anthem. And for those that can't, please, no talking while we sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
All rise for the national
All
anthem.
rise for the national anthem, please. Oh, say, you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you. You were great. Absolutely great. Now, I want you to remember this is a sing-along. You can sit or stand if you like. We're moving on to the grand old flag. And if we could keep talking to a minimum so all the singers are being heard. Now, the grand old flag is something we don't hear very often. It was written by George Cohan in 1906. It was a stage musical called George Washington Jr., and the song was introduced to the public in the play's first act on opening night, February 6, 1906. And the original lyrics for this perennial first came to Cohen from an encounter he had with a Civil War veteran who fought at Gettysburg. The two men found themselves sitting next to each other, and Cohen noticed the vet had held a carefully folded, old, ragged flag. And the man reported, then turned to Cohen and said, "She's a grand old flag." Cohen thought it was a great line and named his tune, actually he said, "It's a grand old rag." He named his tune Grand Old Rag, but fortunately he later called it "You're a Grand Old Flag." Please join us. We're going to do this twice because this is a newer song for some of you, and on the second verse, and I think you should all have the words. We should be able to nail it. Okay, here we go. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever peace may you wave. You're an emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true, neath the red, white, and blue, when there's never a boast or brag. Much an old acquaintance be, for God, keep your eye on the grand old flag. You're a grand old flag, you're a high-flying flag, and forever peace may you wave. You're an emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true, neath the red, white, and blue, when there's never a boast or brag. But should old acquaintance be, for God, keep your eye on the grand old flag. You were great. Thanks so much for your help. We appreciate it. Okay. Now, next we have America the Beautiful. This song has, 4 verses. We're going to do them all. And I really want you to pay attention to the words on the second, third, and fourth verse that have so much meaning for us even now in our current situation. Now, America the Beautiful is an American patriotic song written by Catherine Lee Bates, and its music was composed by a church organist and choir master at Grace Episcopal Church in Newark, New Jersey. In 1893, at the age of 33, Bates, an English professor at Wellesley College, had taken a train trip to Colorado. And in Colorado, several of the sites on her trip inspired her, and they found their way into her poem, including the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago. That's where the White City comes from, with its promise of future gleaming white buildings, the white fields of North America's Kansas, and through her train was riding the majestic view of the Great Plains from atop Pikes Peak. So please join me in America the Beautiful. This almost could have been our national anthem. Yeah, give me that. Please join me. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties.
so beautiful for patriotry that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
You were great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. One of our favorite songs is God Bless America. This is an American patriotic song written by Irving Berlin during World War I in 1918 and revised by him in the run-up to World War II in 1938. The later version was recorded by Kate Smith, becoming her signature song. Now, God Bless America takes the form of a prayer with introductory lyrics noting that as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer for God's blessing and peace for the nation, stand beside her and guide her through the night. Now, the hard part of this song, for those that sing, is through the night with a light from above. If we can remember that, through the night from the light from above, and think of America, the light of God as He helps us going forward. So please join me in God Bless America. You should have the words. If not, grab them. Okay. And then they are up here. Okay.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Thank you. You did a great job again. Thank you very much. And now for our final song, and we're going to do the whole thing, This Land Is Your Land by Woody Guthrie. And Woody Guthrie is the composer of this, was one of the most influential voices in the entire American folk music tradition. His personal and music styles were deeply influenced by his childhood in rural Oklahoma during the Great Depression years, which led him to a hobo lifestyle, a powerful dislike of greed, and a deep appreciation for the diversity of America's everyday folk. In February 1940, Guthrie wrote, "This land is your land," in reaction to Irving's Berlin song, God Bless America, which we just sang. Guthrie heard Berlin's song repeatedly while he traveled cross country and became increasingly annoyed that it glossed over the lopsided distribution of land and wealth that he was observing and had experienced as a child. Although Guthrie was no statistician, his observations accurately reflected the fact that even in the depths of the Depression, nearly 20% of the nation's wealth rested with only 1% of its population. This Land Is Your Land has been recorded by numerous vocal artists, Bing Crosby, Judy Collins, Harry Belafonte, Fred Warning, Pete Seeger, and the Limelighters. Please join me in singing This Land Is Your Land.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. I felt the footsteps to the sparkling sand of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. When the sun came shining and I was strolling, and the wheat fields waving, and the dust clouds rolling, as the fog was lifting, a voice was chanting. This land was made for you and me. Now let it out, come on. This land is your land. This land was my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. This land was made for you and me. Was made for you and me. Thank you very much. You were absolutely fantastic. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dave Mangs and Michael Service from the Connecticut Old Guard. We have weekly meetings of the Connecticut Old Guard every Tuesday. And these two guys lead us in song, and they are just terrific. Please give them another round of applause.
Thank you.
We'll take a little bit of a short break for about 5 minutes until our next item on the menu. In that time, if you haven't signed up for the drawings, you can do so by putting your name on a piece of paper in the hallways in the front or on the side.
Hey, we are Chris Prentice here. We're still broadcasting live here from 50 South Main Street, direct to your YouTube web page. We're still here at the Flags of America Showcase. So far, we've seen a flag folding demonstration. In that flag folding demonstration, we got to learn what each of the 13 folds represent, all the things that America stands for, why we do it the way we do it. We saw the color guard come in. We learned why they do what they do and the way they do it. We've taken a tour around the room looking at all 27 iterations of the official American flag for the last 250 years. We've been treated to some American classics musically. We've got some young scouts here. interacting with the other young people, showing them the way it's done. We've had Betsy Ross giving us bits of history here and there. We've got all kinds of exhibits around the room. If you want to learn how to fold a flag yourself, you can do that. If you want to make a bracelet, you can do that. I see some Civil War reenactors going down over here taking pics. Let me see if we can get a gander at that. Take a look at that. History before our very eyes. I love it. Speaking of history, we've got letters here from World War I, an exhibit. An exhibit here on display right here in the room. Letters from World War I. You can get your eyes on these and learn some very personal histories. From some young soldiers. Back when we only called it the Great War. Before there was a second one. As I said, history before your very eyes. So much to learn, so much to be gained here. And this is a family event. You can come on down. We're here until 4 p.m., so you've got about an hour and a half left or so. You can head on down. 50 South Main Street. We're here in the auditorium. They've got snacks and goodies for you. There's door prizes to be won. Holding another raffle. We held one a little bit ago. We'll hold another in just a little while. But you can win, as they say, some swag bags. Do some arts and crafts. Learn a bit of history. Do some coloring. Make some bracelets. Popsicle stick flags to be made. But there's something for everyone here. There is something for everyone here. See, they've got the door prizes here. Patriotic mat for you to place at your door. Quite literally a door prize. But come on down. Today, February 15th, 2026, this is another America 250 event. You can come on down. You can learn a bit. You can celebrate this great country of ours. Learn the meanings behind some of the things that we do. Learn where we came from. It's hard to forge ahead if you don't know where you came from. So I invite you all. We're here for another hour and a half. More events are planned. More giveaways will be given. More snacks will be had. 50 South Main Street, here in the auditorium, right here in the town hall. And as I speak, more families making their way in, stopping by and signing up for door prizes. This is a beautiful, beautiful event. Don't miss out. Come on down. How many more times are we going to celebrate 250 years of anything?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat for you.
We've got a special treat. Let's see what we've got.
Help me in welcoming Patrick Harrell, a veteran of the Marine Corps and past commander of the American Legion Post 96 in Hazel Lodge, West Hartford. He will now perform for you as a Civil War soldier.
Wagner, constructed mostly of palmetto logs and sand, is considered the softest. Our regiment, some of you may remember that battle from the movie Glory with Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman about the infamous colored unit, the Massachusetts 54th. But that Hollywood reenactment was of the second battle, which also failed. I and others from the 7th, some whose names are listed here, were in the first battle 2 weeks earlier. Our regiment suffered heavy casualties in that action. 1 out of every 5 men that made that charge died. The lucky ones among us getting killed outright. The rest suffering a longer, slower, agonizing death, like Hank or Henry Sperry of West Hartford. We never did take that fort directly, winning it instead by default through the seepage of blood and guts into the ground, which contaminated the fort's water supply, forcing the rebels to abandon it in mid-September under the cloak of darkness. My spirit wanders still, especially at this hallowed time of year. Is my life of any value? Question that haunts me still. When I consider all the things that I've witnessed in the century and a half since my end, the wider global conflicts, more destructive war that have been engaged, comforts my heart to still see the red, white, and blue waving in the breeze. There'll always be reminders. There must be a toll he paid to keep Old Glory alive. beautiful. And then what you have is this piece tucks in here.
Now hold you two, so I get a good picture. Because your father knows him. All right, can you practice on a little one?
Practice on a little one, and then you can take the little one. Same thing, same thing.
Maybe we have to bring that up to her.
With the stars.
The way you want it. The way you want it.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm well, how are you? Oh, it's right about 2:45, which means we've got about an hour 15 or so left in this event.
Thank you.
We're running till 4 p.m.
Chris.
Hello. Just letting the folks at home know they can be here. They can come on down. There's still more events. We got Betsy Ross coming up soon to let us know the deets about the stars, about the stripes, what inspired it, how it came about, why certain decisions were made. So there's still more to be learned. There is yet more to be learned. We're here at 50 South Main Street. Let's take a look at this flag. Which flag is this? From 1896, when there were only 45 states in the Union. 45 stars, 13 stripes. The state of Utah joined January 4th, 1896. And you can come in and you can see all 27. All 27 of the official U.S. flags as they line the room. And once again, there are door prizes as well. You can come on in and win America gear, swag bags, as they say. If you're proud to be an American, this is the place to be.
And if you don't know the Pledge of Allegiance.
And if you don't know the Pledge of Allegiance, we got Betsy Ross here letting us know the deal. We're going to learn all about how the American flag came about, why there are stars, why there are stripes.
Got these nice activity books. I Love America, where you can learn and do activities, good for the kids. All about flag etiquette. There'll be another session if you're coming. This is live.
This is live.
Come on down at 3:30 again. We're going to teach how to fold the flag again, and coming up, we're going to learn about flag etiquette. But we have some brochures here too, talking about the history of the flag, how to respect the flag, the Star Spangled Banner. You already missed a sing-along, but you know you could watch the videotape later.
Oh, they can watch it back. We got it for them.
There you go.
No reason to miss the live performance, though, right? There's no reason to miss this live. America turns 250 only once. So we can celebrate it. We can learn so much. Thank you so much, Betsy. Appreciate you. You guys can come on down. There's so much more to be learned. It's time to learn some flag etiquette. In just a little bit here. Let's see if I can't take a seat. Find a spot where I can park up and we can get a good spot here. Let's see, let's right over here. Let's head over here.
pretty loud. So flag etiquette basically refers to the rules and customs for displaying and handling a flag. There's not any ramification, like you can't get arrested because you do something wrong with the flag, but it's more the etiquette to respect the flag and to honor it by following these rules. And the flag should be treated in a solemn nature. It's not a disposable item. It's not a decoration, like you shouldn't hang it up as a drapery or use it as a bedspread, for example. The flag should be shown with respect, always given a place of honor, and emphasizing that it should never touch the ground. Again, I mentioned it shouldn't be used for decoration, or you shouldn't take an actual flag and make a jacket or a coat out of it. That's not allowed. We always ask the kids, like, what happens when a flag touches the ground? Do we have to throw it away? And the answer is no. You don't have to. We don't really want that to happen. So if it gets soiled, you would want to wash it and clean it. But in general, we just don't want it to touch the ground. We want it to be flown properly, and we want it to be always illuminated and put in the most high and prominent position. So for example, we want the stars always to be on the observer's left or on the top left when displayed vertically. And again, it's about treating the flag as a reverent symbol, not just an everyday item. So these are some of the ways you can look at it. When you're hanging it at home from your house, if you were going to hang it flat on the side of your house, when you're looking at it, right, you want the blue part to be in the left corner. When flags are on the stage, you'll see that when you're looking at them, right, they're on the left. That's on the speaker's right. And when you see the flags hanging here, you can see that they're leaning to the right. So these are places of honor. So whether you display them vertically or you're displaying horizontally, I think it's pretty obvious. With other flags on the same staff, the U.S. flag is always at the peak, at the top. So if there's multiple flags on a staff, like at my house, the Marine Corps flag is second. The American flag is at the top. The U.S. flag is always on the right, like we mentioned, on the observer's left. So with cross poles, if it's between other flags, it's always, again, higher than they are. So the first example I gave you is when they're on one pole, the American flag is on the top. When you have them over a street, like for example during a parade, you may suspend a flag vertically. That is with a union to the north on an east-west street, or to the east on a northwest street. They're trying to kind of demonstrate that. I think that can get a little tricky for people. From your porch, you always want to, again, have the blue section at the peak of the staff. When you have them on a vehicle or car, and this kind of changes a little bit, but they want it to be clamped to the right fender. You'll also see people, if cars today don't have antennas, older cars had antennas and they would sometimes get clasped there as well. You see that mostly done at a parade. And I want to talk for a minute about a parade. So when you watch a parade, like in town, when we have our parade in Memorial Day, people that are standing on the street watching a flag pass by, sometimes there's a question like, what am I supposed to do? So for me, I was in the military, I have a cover, and I'm going to salute the flag. Oftentimes you will see veterans without their cover on, they also will salute, even if they're not covered. That's typical for members of the military forces. Others, like if you're wearing a baseball cap, the correct thing to do is take off your baseball cap, or if you're a Boy Scout and you're watching a flag on the street, you take your cap off and you put it over on your left shoulder. That's putting your right hand on your heart. That's showing honor as the flag goes by, and you're supposed to be at attention. So that's the way that you can show reverence during a parade when a flag goes by. Same thing like at a baseball game, you'll see that happen when they sing the American anthem at the beginning. And you'll see people take their cap off, or you'll hear the announcer say, please remove your hat. Distress is the next category that I think you guys had on here. You only would ever fly a flag like this as a signal of dire distress. This is more something you would see during war. But I guess if you were on a boat or something and you were having problems or something like that, you could potentially do that at that time. I don't know, there's not a lot of times you might do that. Saluting, I just mentioned this, putting your hand over your heart, you can see that's a common thing for people to do. If they're not in the military, most military members will salute. Folding it, we talked about this earlier. If you missed this, we're going to demonstrate again the proper way to fold a flag. The goal when you're folding a flag is to have it end up as a triangle with no red showing, and we will demonstrate that again later. In different weather, usually if it's very foul weather, you will take a flag down, but most flags today are made as all-weather flags, so they're flown all the time, even in harsh weather. And half-staff, you'll see half-staff flags done in times of mourning. When a flag is put at half-staff, say it's in the morning, because normally we put a flag up at sunrise, we take it down at sunset. But when we're doing a day of mourning, we first raise it all the way to the top, and then we bring it halfway down. And at the end of the day, we raise it up and take it all the way down. So flying a flag at half-staff is done usually for when there's somebody famous or somebody who dies or something that we want to memorialize. Or on Memorial Day, we do fly it at half-staff until noon, and then we rise it to its peak. When flags are old and weathered, and I like to teach this to the kids of when the red starts to get pink and the blue starts to not look blue anymore, or it's ripped in any way, we want you to get rid of it. There is a new fire pit that was built in 2020 in town. That's actually, when you leave today, when you walk out the doors this way downstairs, that's right in front of you, that fire pit. And coincidentally, that fire pit was built by my son as his Eagle project, and he got that idea from Mo and Rocky and a couple other, the American Legion guys gave him that idea. He did a lot of research and got everything donated. So it's a really nice place to put your retired flags. So where do you get rid of these flags? Ace Hardware has a box like that that's in the back here that you can bring flags to Ace Hardware. You can also contact American Legion members. We take them back. The fire department, the police department, and the city hall, town hall can take them back. You also can actually not rent, but I want to say schedule to use that fire pit. So at that back table where that big red board is, there's instructions on how to contact the fire marshal's office, and you just fill out a form. And say you are part of a sports team or organization or a scout unit, you can use the flag pit. And the way that that works is when you put in an order or a request to use it, the fire marshal contacts us, the American Legion, and a couple other units. We have a unit person from the fire department or the police department come and help, and then we dispose flags. The other place that you can bring flags that I wanted to mention was when the American Legion and the Knights of Columbus and a lot of us get together at Fairview Cemetery for the Memorial Day and the Veteran Day flag planting, where we put flags at all the grave of veterans, you can bring old retired flags there those days, and we accept them back. And then the American Legion goes out to Boy Scout, Girl Scout units and other units in town, and we teach them about flag folding, and we actually do demonstration retirements at that flag pit to teach the next generation how to care for flags. So that's available for anyone in town that might want to do that. The way that you actually dispose the flag at the flag ceremony is you actually read, there's a script you can read, there's many versions online. We generally use the American Legion one. Nylon flags can't be burned, those have to be buried. Although our fire marshal says you can burn them in certain instances, we just don't really want to burn them because they let off a lot of noxious fumes, which are not great to breathe in. You would start a large fire, and once it's really hot, you put that flag in, it's been folded into that triangle, and they burn pretty quickly. We generally put the flag in the empty pit and just light the flag and let it burn. There's different ways to do it, and there's not a wrong way or a right way. It's just doing it in a ceremonial and respectful way. When the flag is beginning to burn, we tend to salute the flag and say the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll pause for a moment of silence, which is very challenging when you're doing this with kindergarten to 5th graders. But we have a system where we have them do lots of Simon Says and jumping jacks to make them really tired before we start the ceremony, and then they seem to be awesome for like the 10-15 minutes it takes to burn through the flags. And they're very into it. The kids like participating in these programs. We want the flag to be thoroughly burned, so all that's left is ashes. Those ashes are then supposed to be collected and buried. They're good actually to mix in with garden soil and things like that, so it's a good way to recycle. There are also poems and other scripts you can find online, and I've seen many different retirement ceremonies done respectfully in many different ways. So this is actually one of the programs that we did in town with the Cub Scout troop. I'm trying to see if I can recognize which path this is, but I can't. I think it might be the first one we did this year at from Duffy. But we have a lot of people come out. I think each of the ones we did, we had 60 to 80 kids and families come out to these programs. So we schedule them for any unit that might want to do that. I mentioned where to drop them off, the community disposal box, that's what's in the back, and the different places I mentioned where you can bring them. Flag Day is a common day where Ace Hardware gets a lot of flags because people are getting ready for their new year and they're getting rid of the old one, and sometimes 4th of July we get a lot where people are replacing their weathered flags. I believe that right now there's an Eagle Scout in town who's trying to make some permanent boxes, wooden boxes like that, so stay tuned because we might have those at the senior centers and in the town hall. There's another program that's called Stars for Our Troops program, which I'm actually not familiar with. You have a slide on that, I think.
I don't have a slide.
Oh, okay. So the Stars for Our Troops program also accepts worn out flags, and I'm going to guess you could probably easily Google that and find it online. But it's a volunteer program where they cut out the flag stars, embroider them, and they send them to American soldiers. So I'm sure that's a really awesome program. There is, as far as burying a flag, there is a code, a U.S. code on how to do that. You know, the burning is the preferred method to dispose of a flag, but some people might have to do a burial. So for example, nylon flags would be one. And if you choose to use this method, the recommended way would be to find a small wooden box and bury it in that box, and to pause for a moment of silence when you bury the flag. And I would recommend burying it as deep as you can. Final option for disposing flags, there are some recycling programs where flag companies in the U.S. accept back old flags, and they have a manner in which to repurpose them and to use those materials to refabricate new flags. So that, I think, is a great idea that they've started doing that. And who can dispose of a flag? Everyone in this room could dispose of a flag. So anyone can do a flag ceremony. You can do one in your backyard in a respectful way, but I will note that if you do burnings in your backyard, you are supposed to let our fire marshal in town know. That helps them because it prevents, if people are calling to say, oh, there's a fire somewhere, that they know, oh, Heidi Ann is having a flag retirement in her backyard. So that is something we should know in our town, so that's our town's protocol. And then other than that, I think you have a video. Do you have a video? Okay, we're going to skip the video. Here are some of the days that we display, that we want to display flags. I tend to leave my flag up at my house. I have a flagpole, so I leave it up year round, and I have a light on it at night. So that's an important thing, is if you don't have a illumination on your flag at night at your house, you're supposed to take it down. A quick and easy way to do that is any hardware store has those solar lights now. You can just put in the ground. So that's what I use to light my flag at night, so I don't have to take it in and out. And I think that pretty much concludes all the flag etiquette. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions on flag etiquette? And that's it. Thank you, guys.
Or two now, three later, whichever.
Thank you, Heidi Ann, for that great presentation. Really appreciate it. It's 3 o'clock, so that means we're going to do drawing. Actually, we're going to pick 3 winners now in this hour for some prize packs. By the way, before I do the drawing, I wanted to mention that in the back, there's this great brochure on flag etiquette that you can take home with you and save for future reference. There's also other things that you can take, coloring books, etc. There's this great bookmark. So please stop by the table right in the back. Oops. Oh, that's the winner. Emily Lavin. Is Emily Lavin here? I guess not. Last name?
Kular? Ari Kular or
Ari Kular. Ah, here we go. Yes, we have a winner. Come on up, Ari. Come on up and get your prize. Okay, Eddie Lappy or Eddie Lapp? Is Eddie here? Nope. Oops, that's our winner. Amy Zucker.
All right, Amy.
Okay. Okay, last one. Robert Rogerson. Okay. Orridge Collins. Orridge Collins. Huh? Okay. Anne Alloy. Anne Alloy.
Yeah, that's
Yay!
Eloise.
Eloise.
All right, yes.
Okay, next up on our schedule is a talk about the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to welcome Jennifer McLeod, President, and Jeannie Berry, Senior Vice President of the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 96 Hayes Village.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear us now? Everybody can hear good? We like to be loud. We like for you to hear everything we've got to say, and we're so happy to be here. Thank you. She's the quiet one.
Yeah, that. So as he said, my name is Jennifer, and I am the president of the American Legion Auxiliary Unit 96 Hayes Village here in West Hartford. Jeannie is my senior vice president, and we're going to talk about the meaning behind the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody at school every day gets up and they say the pledge, but they don't really know the meaning behind it, so we're just going to discuss that quickly. So starting with line 1, I pledge allegiance. An allegiance is a vow of loyalty and fidelity to the nation.
This is a promise that we will always be true to our country and our special red, white, and blue flag that represents us in all the 50 states in our country.
We are all on a team together, and the flag is our symbol, our nation's family crest.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, allegiance is given to the country itself and the representative government republic, not just the cloth flag.
In our country, we get to vote for people to stand up for us and make laws. This is called a republic. The leaders we vote for should always listen to us and be responsible.
One nation under God. This was added in 1954 during the Cold War. This phrase emphasizes the belief in a higher power and the religious, specifically Christian, influence of the nation's founding.
No matter who we are, what we believe, or where we may originally be from, we're all part of the same team. And we believe there's a higher power, greater than ourselves, looking out for us.
Indivisible, the country is united and cannot be divided, a concept heavily influenced by the Civil War. With liberty and justice for all, the ultimate promise that all citizens are entitled to freedom and fair treatment under the law.
We are stronger together, and no one can ever break us up. We believe everyone should be treated fairly and equally. We are one country forever.
The historical origin of this comes in 1892 from Francis Bellamy, a Baptist minister, created the pledge to promote patriotism in schools for the 400th anniversary of Columbus's voyage.
There was some additions made to the original Pledge of Allegiance. I wasn't here, but in 1923, the phrase, the flag of the United States was added. Then in 1924, they added to the end of the flag of the United States of America. And after that was added in 1954, under God. And this is to distinguish the U.S. from communist nations.
The purpose, it was designed to help unify a nation, especially to help incorporate immigrants and foster a common American identity.
With symbolism and usage, the daily recitation is recited in schools and public meetings to reinforce national values.
It is customary to stand, face the flag, and place the right hand over the heart to show respect.
It is intended to unite people of different backgrounds, religions, and regions under a common national identity.
The Pledge of Allegiance is a formal, patriotic promise of loyalty to the United States flag, the republic it represents, and the core principles of unity, liberty, and justice for all. Originally written by Francis Bellamy in 1892 to foster national unity during the 400th anniversary of Columbus's arrival, it serves as a daily unifying and educational commitment to the American ideals. If you would please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer and Jeannie. That was really wonderful. And again, there are brochures and things in the back that you can take home with you that explain a little bit more about what you just heard. Right now, we're going to do something very special. We're going to go back in time, all the way back to the Revolutionary War period. And we're going to meet one of the most interesting characters of that period, Betsy Ross.
Thank you. Greetings from 1776. So since we became a nation 250 years ago, our flag of the United States is a symbol of freedom. Over the course of this 250 illustrious history, the American flag has become a national symbol of strength, unity, and renowned icon of American pride and inspiration. The story of the American flag began over 200 years ago. It was January 1st, 1776. On that day, in the Continental Army, which was led by General Washington, who was a close friend of mine, was laying siege to British-controlled Boston. As the siege continued, Washington ordered a flag to be hoisted over his base at Prospect Hill, as you can see in the image behind me. The Grand Union flag, with 13 alternating red and white stripes, and the British Union flag, as you can see, in what's known in the upper left-hand corner as the canton. That was known as the first flag, known as a symbol of our new country. So the parts of the flag, the canton, the upper left-hand corner, or also known as the Union, and the stripes, and if you're flagging it on a pole, the grommet. So this is the flag often attributed to me as the Betsy Ross flag. You can see the circles, the stars each representing one of our states. The original one, they were colonies. The circle moved a little. It's supposed to be circled for Connecticut, number 5 stripe. So the colors, the red was chosen to represent hardiness and valor. The white symbolizes purity and innocence. And the blue of the Union field represents vigilance and justice and perseverance. Did I really make the first flag, though? Everybody knows me, my flag. They call it the Betsy Ross flag. But no, I didn't make the first flag. But I did contribute to it. My dear grandson, William J. Canby, he went around and told the Philadelphia papers that I did make that first flag, but I did not. But I was a seamstress. I am a seamstress. And I was known to make George Washington's ruffles. I also made some bedding for his home in Mount Vernon. And like I said, we were friends. We went to the same church, Church of Christ in Philadelphia. We had adjoining pews. And so he came to me on June 1st, 1776, with a sketch of a flag. And that flag had the stars in a circle, had the 13 red and white stripes, but the stars had 6 points to them. So my contribution was to tell General Washington, no, as a seamstress, it's way easier. It's one snip of the scissors to make a 5-point star. Some of you may have done this already. We have a table set over there for practicing that. And somebody took my scissors. But if you fold it in a certain way, and you make one snip of the scissors and you unfold it, thank you. One snip of the scissors. That's what I told General Washington. You get your 5-point star. So, since then, from the practical point, that has been used. So there's the demonstration with that one snip of the scissors. So many historians credit Congressman Francis Hopkinson, who was a signer of the Declaration of Independence, who actually designed that first flag. Yes, it's known as the Betsy Ross flag, but I did not design it or create it. My contribution was the 5 points to the star. And, by the way, as we look around the room, and thank you, Knights of Columbus, for the 27 flags adopted by Congress, you don't see the Betsy Ross flag. This was never adopted by Congress, so it's not there. The first one over there is the first one that was adopted by Congress on June 14th, 1777. Resolved that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. June 14th. Tell me, youngsters, what's June 14th on our calendar? Youngsters. Yes, that is Flag Day. So the flag has evolved over time. It has changed, and again, June 14th being Flag Day that we celebrate. So these are the flags. Well, we do not have that first one, which was the first one to represent the United States, but not adopted by Congress. It has the Union Jack, but the other 27 are on display around the room. The last one being over here with our 50 stars since 1959, when we adopted Hawaii and Alaska as our last two states. So anyone, not just youngsters. What are some nicknames you call our flags? Old Glory. That's it? That's all we know. Stars and Bars. Okay. Stars and Stripes, but yeah, Stars and Bars, Old Glory. The Star Spangled Banner, we sang that earlier, is also a nickname. The good old red, white, and blue, and there's the Stars and Bars, are some nicknames we know of our flag. Thank you for learning about the flag. Thank you for coming here today.
Thank you, Betsy Ross, and safe travels back to 1777. We have about 10 minutes before our next presentation.
So if you want to learn how to make that 5-pointed star, I can help you over there. Or we also do have some volunteers helping at the table. We can skip it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else are we doing today? Because most of the people that are here were here for the first
We can
one.
do the flag folding again. Skip the reenact.
Your call.
We're still here. We're here until 4 p.m. learning about the American flag. We've learned so much today. The proper way to respect a flag, how to retire a flag, how to fold a flag, why the flag is what it is, how it became that way. The national anthem, why we sing it, who came up with it, how it started. So much history in this room right now. We're still here. If you want to come down, you can still come down. There's still time for more door prizes, more raffles. Here until 4 p.m. at 50 South Main Street. I'm not sure that I put myself on camera today. Let me just... Hey, how's it going, Weehaw? Chris Prentice here. I've had a grand old time looking at our grand old flag and learning all about it, seeing all the different iterations of it from throughout the years. Once again, America 250 in 2026. Pretty fantastic. If you want to head on down, you still can. There's still time. You can learn to fold the flag. You can make yourself a bracelet. You can learn how to do that simple snip of the scissors to make your 5-pointed star. We sang some beautiful songs. We honored our nation. It's been a fantastic time. I'm going to sign off. I'm going to see you guys here on our YouTube channel. That's WHCI on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Share that link out to some folks. Let them know where they can get all the good stuff they've got here. This broadcast in its entirety will be there, along with some other highlights and whatnot. You know, WHCI is good for the high school sports. We've got those coming up. Pops and Jazz is coming up soon at Hall. Subscribe to us. You'll be privy to all that good stuff. Hit that subscribe button. Share the link out with a friend and let them know what WHCI brings to you. And before the day is over, before 4 p.m. strikes, come on down South Main Street, 50 South Main Street, the Town Hall. We're still here. We're still flying the grand old flag. We'll see you here. This has been Chris Prentice. I love you. Stay beautiful. And I'll see you at the next one. Have a good one.